quantity of music happening in Columbus, but list me a few artists that you like, that you particularly have enjoyed repeating to go out to see after you've written about them, or just your own personal tastes in the music. Do you kind of sway one way or the other?
I mean, I guess, my core, I try to stay unbiased and try to stay open to what's going on, but I guess my core interest would be more lean towards straight ahead, soul, jazz, that sort of thing. So, I mean, always the greats on the organ in town. I mean, Tony Monaco and Bobby Floyd have been, Bobby Floyd's playing less organ these days, but have been constant heroes for me. And groups playing less these days, but got me into local jazz a long, long time ago. Honk, Wail, and Moan has always been a favorite of mine. I'm glad they still play, a couple times a year. As far as younger groups, Radar Hill has been a favorite of mine for the last few years, and they're evolving and putting out music that I think meets, and that's kind of been their stated mission of the conservatory meets the dive bar of technical jazz music, but also that you can have fun too, and it's not dry or stuffy or whatever you may think of, conservatory jazz,
Sure.
So I think they've been riding a good line of putting out vibrant music that is not watered down in any way, shape, or form.
And a note on sort of down that topic is that I've seen you write about young musicians coming up in the scene. Is there anything that you've seen maybe as a common thread between them, or something you've noticed about the young musicians, whether it be the styles that they're playing, or is it the fact that they're writing their own music? What's something that you're noticing in the younger crop of musicians that are coming up that you're going out to see or you're writing about?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been more thread of more original music. I mean, obviously, different musicians have different approaches and different interests, and some young musicians are skillfully interpreting others' material, and that's love to hear that. But yeah, there's been a lot more, I'd say, original music, and through some of these initiatives like the Dick's Den residency, or even just Jazz Wednesdays at Brothers Drake, where there's basically a different group every week, that those sort of lower commercial pressure outlets where people can just kind of let loose and try out their new music. And I think that seems to help a lot of these sort of composers and different new projects get going.
Yeah, absolutely. And so to conclude with this, jazzcolumbus.com, as we've been talking about here on the podcast, is just such a wonderful resource, providing not only a calendar of everything going on in the city that you can subscribe to, right?
Yes. And we have a weekly newsletter. We'll keep you up to date on our articles, my column, and weekend jazz calendar.
So you can subscribe to the article that you put out every Wednesday, but then you can also, it seems like it's sort of like a Google calendar that you can also maybe add to your own calendar. I know I do that on my own.
Right. Yes, you can do that as well.
Yeah, so you can subscribe to it if you have a Gmail or a Google calendar of any kind under any email address. You can subscribe to that and get that listed to where just pull up your own calendar and you can see it. Of course, you should go to jazzcolumbus.com because it's so much more than just a listing of events happening. It's amazing interviews with musicians, and it really gives you a feel for what's happening in the city. And so, Andrew, thank you so much for your time here on the website or on the podcast, but also for your time working on the website. And big thanks to Mark Subel for having the seed of the idea, and anything that the Jazz Arts Group can do. And of course, a call to action to the community to get behind jazzcolumbus.com and push it forward, because I think without a resource like this, I think we're all a little bit in the dark.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Zach.
So thanks so much. And we'll look forward to seeing what comes out in the future.
Sounds good.
Thanks. Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Jazz Scene. We want to hear your feedback. Visit our website, www.jazzartsgroup.org/thejazzscene, and be sure to subscribe on iTunes and leave us your review. Thanks to our recording engineer, Nick Fields. The theme music is by Michael Cox, and funding for The Jazz Scene is provided by the Jazz Arts Group of Columbus. I'm Zach Compton, and we hope you catch our next episode of The Jazz Scene.